Hi, my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So, for today's movie, I will be reviewing The Boogeyman, directed by Rob Savage and starring Sophie Thatcher, Vivian Blair, and Chris Messina. So, 1 month after the untimely passing of their mother, the members of the Harper family aren't doing too well. Sadie has developed a attachment towards her dead mother's prior belongings, ranging from her clothes to a bunch of paintings she left behind. Sawyer has developed an acute fear of the dark, not crippling, but still she sleeps with a glow ball around her in her bed. So she's got some issues there that aren't typically solved by a little plug-in glow light that you do for kids who are typically afraid of the dark. And complicating matters is the fact that their father, despite being an otherwise caring therapist who seems to know how to handle his patients, just doesn't quite seem to know how to help his daughters out. Not that he isn't attentive or has just completely shut down. He just genuinely doesn't know how to help him out, and so sort of just offshores the therapist duties to, well, a therapist, appropriately enough. A responsible, albeit lazy, move on his part. Well, luckily, or more appropriately, unluckily, and for them, they will get the chance to confront their grief when a man by the name of Lester Billings it comes along and inadvertently unleashes the titular boogeyman upon them. So, writing wise, this film is very familiar. Everything from the horror monster as a metaphor for grief, to the passing on of a curse, to even the mechanics of the horror set pieces have all kind of been done in prior horror films, specifically those from like the mid to late 2010s. But thankfully, this familiarity is compensated for with, just overall solid execution. The details surrounding the family's collective grief are all conveyed in a visual manner, and there's just enough counterpoint humor to keep the proceedings from becoming excessively and, ironically enough, unintentionally hilariously grim. Plus, the screenplay also smartly avoids the cliche of having the protagonist learn all about the beast via Google searches and instead posits a lot of the exposition, well done exposition, I might add, to the prior victims of the boogeyman. So it's well done there. So, performance wise, this film is pretty solid all around. No one really stands out per se, if only because everyone's doing their job and they're doing it well. Thatcher, Messina, and Blair are all believable as a loving family that just is having a rough time of it, with the passing of their mother. They're very believable and, dare I say, very relatable to anyone who's ever lost a parent well before said parent died before their time. Just well done there. Dast Maclean, my apologies if I butchered the pronunciation there. He makes pretty solid use of his limited time as a father grieving the untimely death of his children. And the supporting cast, while they don't get quite as good material to work with, they nevertheless give solid performances all the same. So, where the film really shines, though, is in the horror department. Rob Savage, he doesn't exactly go full Evil Dead Rise with the camera work, but he does strategically employ some creative camera movements to convey the story. Like just one shot, upside down shot of a mailbox says so much in a single image. That right there, plus the camera uses pans and 360-degree pans to help set the mood, and the 180-degree flip of the cameras is used in a very effective manner. And the horror set pieces, they're well designed, and each horror set piece features creative ways for the characters to illuminate and outsmart the boogeyman. My favorite sequence in particular involves the light of a television. It's employed very effectively. And then there's the Boogeyman itself. Yeah, it's terrifying. Like, again, this isn't like the most terrifying movie I've seen. Skinamarink takes the crowning spot for this year. But this film does its job very well. The jump scares aren't, you can't see them coming a mile away, more like a quarter mile, if at all. Plus, the creature itself is just terrifying, both illuminated and in the dark. Its eyes like pierce through the darkness, and every time you see her, like, ugh. And plus, it plays with some very subtle horror. Like, you can see just enough of an outline to not know what it is, but just enough to know that it makes you want to, but not actually do so. Yell at the characters, "Get the hell out of there!" It's so the horror set pieces are well done. So, though it relies on the tricks and tropes of prior horror movies, the Boogeyman thankfully has plenty of talent on both sides of the camera to compensate. So, with all that in mind, I will be giving The Boogeyman 3.5 out of 5 stars. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. If you like this review and would like to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And for today's comment section prompt of the day, what is your favorite Stephen King adaptation and why?